What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're right back. Same way you left us. Slightly different spots. Less people. Sometimes I think less people the better, but we'll see.
So wait, you had to like think for like a couple seconds about the intro, and the intro was all right.
Yeah,
Like, that was what your mind came to.
that is what it came to. I think we've established a new precedent or a cadence here where if I critique Arya's intros, now I do the intros, which feels like punishment, but I guess that's what I get for just critiquing. But if you want to critique my all right, you handle the intro next time and make sure you don't say okay.
Well, I was, you know what? I was given feedback recently that apparently I need to be more solution oriented.
There you go.
You know what? I take back my statement. That was a fine intro.
Yeah, it was just all right. Let's get into it. But like I mentioned, there's a lot less of us. Well, not a lot less, but just two of us today. Honorary wise guy or fellow wise guy. Honorary wise guy Davin's not with us, and fellow wise guy Arya is not here either.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is, but Luke is usually on top of these kind of logistical situations.
He's on like a work trip in New Orleans.
Okay, way to go, giving his location to people. Love that.
Well, by the time like he's finished and back, like you know what I mean, like this episode will be out, like you know what I mean. So it's
That's
like,
true.
No one's gonna be able to get him. Although like I really do what's the word appreciate the idea that this video is gonna be seen by enough people that he's gonna get doxxed. Like I like that. I like where we think we're headed.
You know that was I caught myself like after the moment. They usually catch themselves in the moment.
Yeah.
No, I said the dumb thing, and then I was like, huh. What you just said was a dumb thing. Yeah, no one cares where Arya is, one. And number two, not enough people watching this like would care or even,
at all.
like where he is. But yeah, whatever. Like you're good, dude. Like be safe and yeah, I don't know. We'll see you when you get back. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I will say like I feel like the last like year or so has made me like not really enjoy planes. Like I feel like growing up, I really enjoyed plane rides. Like they were like this like magical thing
Yep.
to look forward to, and now it's just like like the waste of time going there and then like thinking about packing and then having to do laundry when you get back, and I'm like, this is how I know I'm like getting to an adult. Like I'm not like thinking about like the fun of like what like a plane ride means. I'm just like all the logistics around it and everything. But yeah,
I don't think there was ever any fun about a plane ride.
Really?
I think we were just kids and we never got to go on planes very often. And so it was the novelty of it. Like it's like, oh, we get to go on a plane. Yay. Like the whole experience. Like, I think it was the experience of going on a plane that was fun, not the actual being on the plane. And now as people that travel and do a lot more, it's like there's no experience about going on a plane anymore. Now I'm just trying to get in and out of the airport as quickly as possible,
Every time.
or I'm trying to not pack and unpack or do laundry. It's like it's more a disruption to our daily routines now. It's kind of how we see it. I don't know, at least me personally, the airport one is mine, but from Moneybags himself, I've heard I need to step up and get lounge access. I'm not quite rich enough to do that, but one of these days in the near future, in the next 5 to 10 years, I'll make enough money to get access to a lounge.
the lounge is I think one of it's kind of like the Forbidden City, where it's like it's advertised as this like mystical thing, and then when you go and see it, you're actually just kind of like,
No.
oh, this is like all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like in no other environment would you pay close to that amount or get like a credit card just so you can especially have access to this type of stuff and pay like an exorbitant fee for basically like extremely lackluster food. Honestly, I'll say this:
The couscous and sandfish didn't hit the spot.
I hated it, and I actually think some lounges are louder than like just the general terminal. Because they're so crowded with like everyone and like people.
Oh, really? So anyone can get in there now? I'm joking.
No, like, as long as you pay, right? And it's just like I've never been to a lounge where like it wasn't close to max capacity. Don't get me wrong, I've been to a lounge like 3 times in my life, so it's not like a great sample size, but just like max capacity, people are loud. I guess I enjoy the free booze, but you know, that's pretty much it. Like that's what I like about going to a lounge. You don't have to pay for the airport beer.
I will say free booze probably makes up the amount that you pay.
But you know what? Like, there's actually other stuff to talk about, so I don't want to get into it. But like, I was gonna say, I actually think, and this is like probably a terrible take from me.
Okay.
I think
that's what this podcast is for.
There's a bit of mystique in terms of having a beer at an airport bar and not the lounge. Because when you go to a lounge, see, I knew this is how you were gonna react.
Well, just break it down. like I'll follow.
When you go to a lounge and like you're drinking at a lounge, you're usually drinking like by yourself or like with the group that you're at. For like at an airport bar, there's always like a little bit of pseudo social interaction, which I kind of enjoy. Like there's like, cause it's like at a lounge, everyone has the vibe of like, don't talk to me, leave me alone. But then like an airport bar, like I feel like generally I strike up conversation with people around me. This might mean I drink too much at the airport, but I don't know. I like that. Like I like being at an airport bar and like, especially when we're in the US, cause like you never know where people are from. And like, when we were in like Utah, for example, we were at like this airport bar and like this guy was like from California. It was like not that warm in Utah. It was like 2 degrees. Man was in the airport with shorts and a tank top. We were just like chatting and all. I don't know. That was kind of nice. Like, I feel like there's no social interaction in a lounge.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty broke. So I don't go to lounges. I think I went as a kid with my parents, but that never counts.
No.
Yeah, I would have thought, like there'd even be more social interactions in the lounge because it's like, you're not a creep. Like you can afford to be here. But you're right. I think the way you say it is like, I'm in the lounge, don't talk to me.
Maybe it's the demo because it's like it's the rich like people. So they're like, don't like me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm talking shit.
Yeah. But. Well, I guess you were on a lounge twice, and you were in a lounge, not on a lounge. You were in a lounge twice. When did you get back?
Yeah, Ari and I got back last Sunday.
Okay, so about a week ago.
Yeah, and then he's off again.
But how was that trip? I was here playing house and enjoyed it. How was you guys' sojourn to the West?
It was honestly a very fun trip. Annual snowboard trip. Unlike other people, I for some reason like to take vacation winter and not the summer when the weather is great. I guess I'm a psycho. But
no, I know what you are, but I'm not gonna make it race themed this early. So we'll go.
Chinese. That's why I like to.
No, of course not.
In the winter.
No. This is to my Winter Olympics point, but continue. Continue.
No, but like it was a lot of fun. First ski trip out west, I think like this is year 4 for me, like Aria, like just kind of going out west. And like first trip where there wasn't fresh snow. First trip we also went like kind of like during mid-season instead of like end of season. It was very interesting. Like one thing I will say is like honestly Canada, like ski resorts are genuinely massively underrated, I think, in the spectrum of the world. Like people love the US, people love California ski resorts, people love Colorado ski resorts.
I mean, you love Whistler.
But that's also because we're Canadians, right? Like Canadians talk about Whistler a lot.
No, I think it's Americans that talk about Whistler.
Americans also talk about Whistler, but like I don't think I could be wrong about this. I don't think people in like Europe talk about Whistler. But we talk about Europe. We talk about Aspen and we talk about Zermatt and like all these.
Aspen is Colorado.
Aspen, Zermatt, like Switzerland, the Alps.
I don't know. You know what? I'm not again, right? This topic is a little too white for me. But no, I was just curious if you think people in Europe really talk about U.S. like ski.
No,
resorts.
But I think like they're very much on like we have the best resorts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like I honestly think like for when you consider like a variety of factors like the access, the beauty to nature, the price, which is I think a huge consideration nowadays. How busy it is, like. Canada's really underrated. And you know what? Honestly, it doesn't matter to me if people continue to underrate Canada because it's just better. Like prices will not increase as much. And yeah, Vail Corp, do not come. do not come to like our Canadian resorts, please.
Yeah, fair enough. That's interesting. I mean, I can't relate. I think I've only stayed on the eastern part of the Americas.
Oh yeah, you've never even like been.
out west.
Just to like kind of check it out.
No, I haven't. Like, I haven't found the justification to pay that much just to go check it out. I do need to get lessons though, and like that's probably not gonna happen. Not a priority for me, but I need to get lessons to get better. I was gonna ask, like, you've been to, I think you guys have been to different resorts now every year, or
Yep.
has there been a year where you went to the same resort yet?
This was actually the first year. We went to one new one this year, but like this was the first year when we kind of tapped into like older resorts. So
Which
the,
ones?
the
Yeah.
very first ones we went to like ever out west was Lake Louise and Sunshine.
Okay.
So we tried both of those again this year, but we stayed mostly at Panorama. But yeah, like it was first time ever like going back to a resort for me.
Okay, and like how do you rank them? What's the best resort you've been to?
So this was
So
a
far.
funny thing all trip because the whole trip I was like, Sunshine is my favorite resort. I remember having really
Pre-trip or
Pre-trip.
Okay.
Like I remember having really fond memories of this place. Even like when we were planning last year and the year before, I was like, guys, I don't mind just going back to Big Three again, running these places. I really don't like Sunshine. It's actually, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm sure there's great terrain. I actually think I liked Sunshine in my very first year of snowboarding because it was quite flat. Like there were a lot of areas that were like easily traversable. But this year I kind of just found it like it was also a bad day when we went. We only went one day and it was like super foggy and like you couldn't really see and like there were so many points where I was just like this terrain is not like very like interesting or challenging. And like Lake Louise, which I remember not enjoying as much, I liked way more. And like last time when I was at Lake Louise, like Sunday was really trying to take me like through all these like tree runs and stuff, and I was like, feel like I'm not going on those. But like I could actually hit those this time, and I liked it. So it was kind of one of those things where I think with any like sport or anything like that, there are things you enjoy as a beginner level, and then there are things you enjoy as you get better, and then there are things universally. And I feel like this is one of those kind of things. But yeah, don't hit on Sunshine if you have never been. I think it's probably still a pretty cool spot. But yeah.
No, so your number one is Lake Louise.
I think of all time, it's a Red Mountain, which we went last year. Like that, I feel like was a very cool resort, very out of the way, very local vibes. The Airbnb we stayed at was a great price too, and like it was an awesome ski in ski out. The bar there, Rafters, like is one of my favorite like pre spots. I just feel like super like chill, unique. Like also like I still consider myself a young person. There was like no families there, which
at Red Mountain.
I again like I'm not trying to be a hater. I just like I like that. You know, I like that it's primarily a young audience. You know what I mean? Like I think that has a certain vibe with it. But yeah, pretty funny trip overall. The funniest part of this trip, like I was debriefing with you, is unfortunately a poor Tim Hortons worker in the middle of Canmore now thinks like some regional manager is like checking in with him. So we might share that story when Arya's back. But yeah, great trip. I'll end with this. Every time I go out west, I feel like I have like an inclining in the back of my mind to just like quit my job, sell everything, and just like live there for like a year or two.
Really?
Every time I'm just like, there's something like so beautiful about nature. Like I feel it in other circumstances, like sometimes when we're portaging and you're just kind of like chilling in like the middle of a lake in bumfuck nowhere, and you're like, because it's like one of those things where like I don't know if you ever think this. I'm just like, wow, like you know, my ancestors were like humans' ancestors would have like done these, felt these things, like enjoy the beauty of it. It's like you can't like explain like a funny meme to like someone who lived like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But like the feeling of just like going through nature, being one with it, doing things with it, respecting it, like feeling the greatness of it, like these are so like universal, I feel. So yeah, it was cool. But great trip, finished off very quickly, and yeah, good new additions this year.
Fair. I was gonna say, like, what's the over under if I'll ever join you guys? And if I do, how many years from now do you think it will be?
I don't think it's unlikely. I just think like
Give me an over under, man. Give me like give me some numbers.
Like for the rest of our lives, I think you're for sure coming for one.
Okay.
But like if you're saying
and
like
how
next,
long, how soon, I guess, is the over under?
I could see it like in the next like 5 to 10 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I also don't think like by the time we're 40, like we're gonna be wanting to do this type of shit. Like if we do, it's mostly for a hangout and not for like the snowboard.
Yeah, like a lot of people go snowboarding because of their kids. So
Fair.
like like a lot of, and knowing you're gonna force your kids to like learn how to ski and snowboard.
If I make enough money, man.
So I figure you'll find a way.
That's the biggest.
Where there's a will, there's a way. But no, yeah, interesting. Yeah, like I would love to. I would love to level up and go out west. I'm a little bit of a pussy. I'm like I need to get better before I go there, and I just haven't given it the time I should have. So yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned to when Delacpo does go west. But speaking of places that Black people aren't welcome, Winter Olympics has started. How are you feeling?
I just like why are you so set on starting this topic with that tonality?
I'm joking. I heard someone talk about the Winter Olympics. Like no thought is original. I heard someone talk about the Winter Olympics like what, last week, 2 weeks ago, and they were just making a bunch of Black jokes, and I was just like I was paused, and I was like, should I be offended? I was like, no, this is like so true. Like what is going on here? But it's like, like they were just making jokes about, this is like the one sport, like the one sporting event where white people can shine without a Black person, like, like overtaking them and all of that. So yeah, like I did get the racial lens on the Winter Olympics.
I was gonna say, like, the very weird side question. Are Black people good at, like, do a lot of Black people play volleyball?
No. Well, not that I'm aware of. I'm not the. Let me say this. I'm not the institution or the. I'm not the voice of all Black people. Growing up, I did not know many Black people that play volleyball.
Right.
As an
Me
adult,
neither.
I don't know many Black people that play volleyball. In fact, the only time I hear about volleyball is when white people or my white adjacent friends are involved. So.
But that's a sport that, because I was thinking about all the events in the Winter Olympics. I'm like, you know what? Like,
is volleyball in the Winter Olympics?
No, it's not. But I was like, you know what? Your
but
point
like,
is
no one
correct
gives
there.
a shit about volleyball.
And then I think about the Summer Olympics, and I was like, okay, well, you already had your take about water sports. And that's like kind of a fraud or whatever. But I was like, out of the other events that are not like water related in the Summer Olympics, is there any that like we don't see kind of like, Black people dominate in a way? We're like. And it's like, I guess it would be volleyball, but not
there's a lot. There's probably a lot of sports Black people don't dominate in the Summer Olympics. Like I'm being facetious here.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, in the Summer Olympics, the sports everyone cares about, like, like the sprints, the football. Like even football is like, Latin America, but like, it's not necessarily African teams that but like an African team can dominate, like a basketball. I don't know, what are sports that we care? I mean, swimming, obviously.
Anything like track related is pretty like hot in the Summer Olympics.
Yeah, it's
like that. Yeah, you're right.
And like I'm just thinking about like what do we care about? Like what will we watch? Like, what brings the biggest crowds? Because like there's the hammer throw and there's the javelin. I don't know that anyone ever talks about those.
Don't get me wrong. I do think this is like, when I say this, I'll probably lack a ton of historic knowledge and like anthropology or whatever. But it's like, it does feel like a lot of these winter events, it's kind of like, how did you figure out you were good at this? Or like, how was this event if first conceptualized? Because like, for example, the biathlon where it's like you're skiing and shooting, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, in World War II, like, the Northern European campaigns, like that was a practical thing, right?
Oh,
like,
really?
People also had to hunt, like in like Finland and all this stuff. So like, that made sense, but it's like, the skeleton or the bobsled.
Well, what is the skeleton?
The sled. It's like the one where you're like running. It's different. It's basically different positions of running and then getting on a very small piece of board with like 2 like skates and then shooting like 100 kilometers down an hour, like down like an ice tunnel.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, how do you even like how does that event even get made? Like, you know what I mean? Like how would you even like, as like an athlete, because like soccer, you're kicking a ball.
Yeah, it's the whites, dude. Like when you're when you're isolated in like Northern Europe or North America or Russia, like in the ice and in snow, like some shit you do for survival, other shit you do because, hey, like let's have some fun. Let's do some crazy things here. Let's create like an ice roller coaster and just push ourselves on it. It's like think about it. Like, what would I don't know? Don't listen to me. Like, this is a white.
just
Like, we need a white
stuff, yeah.
correspondent for topics like this.
I want to look
I think
into
you.
it
I
for
think
next
you.
episode.
Yeah.
It makes me curious because I'm like, I feel like most track and like Olympic sports, like there is a kind of a logical conclusion. It's like the discus or like the throwing things. People always want to kind of see like who can move a heavy object the fastest and things like that, right? But it's like,
yeah, I wonder the skill. Well, actually, no. Like I've skied and snowboarded. There is a decent amount of skill and fearlessness that's involved. So
yeah, but like the skeleton stuff is actually apparently very full body intensive because like you're trying to like manipulate your body to like get an optimal angle on a turn. So it's like a lot of core, a lot of upper back, a lot of lower back, even though you're kind of just like on the board like that. But
actually, I take it back. Anything that's sports related, there's a lot of technical ability that's involved. But I know, like have you been watching the Winter Olympics? Did you watch the ceremony and all that shit?
I didn't watch the ceremony. I watched the snowboard big air event. It was very unfortunate because we actually had a Canadian athlete that was supposed to do really well, but he actually got injured right before, and we had to like put on one of our subs.
Oh fuck!
Almost actually. Also podiumed. He ended up getting 6th because he fucked his last trick. But like,
wait, what's the big air snowboard? Big air is this where they just do like tricks like a skater and a half pipe, something like that?
Pretty much, it's not a half pipe. You're going off a jump, and then basically the way it works is you get 3 tricks, and they take the top 2, and then that's your score. And then there's like a couple different rounds, and then you make it to the finals, and 12 people compete in the finals, basically. But we have this guy on our team, Mark McMorris, who's considered like one of the modern day goats of snowboarding. It's like,
man, I'll slap the next person that tells me someone's a goat. Like, I'm joking.
It's kind of like,
who's this guy that I've never heard of? First time I hear of him, he's a goat. Like, what is?
Well, I guess like the only people you would like that would be very popular in snowboarding is kind of like Zeb Powell, right? Like, who else would you know in snowboarding? Do you know like Shaun White or like?
I've heard Shaun White. Yeah, there we go.
Do you know Travis Rice?
I might have seen a video on YouTube.
So that's like the thing with snowboarding because it's like, okay, like if
like
you
I
think
watch the X Games when like anytime I go go up to a ski chalet, like I'll put
X
on
Games,
I'll put on some X Games or Red Bull like stuff to like hype me up. That's about it.
Yeah, and it's like that's what Mark McMorris specifically is really good at. So like Shaun White is more of like he's also used to be a really big X Games skier, but like a snowboarder, but like. His big thing was people called him like an athlete. Like he approached like the sport much more like an athlete. Like he actually studied like the grading criteria and shit. Like,
oh wow,
you know what I mean? Like,
as you should if you want to win. It kind of sounds crazy.
Snowboarders are kind of very like lackadaisical, and then Travis Rice is kind of considered the best in backcountry. So like he goes to Alaska a lot, and like he hikes these like unnamed peaks, and like he snowboards down them. And then Mark is kind of known as like the loosey goosey like trick guy. Like he has like. Currently, I think the most total X Game medals, not more first place medals than Shaun White, because he also competes in multiple categories. But anyway,
I was gonna say we're putting our viewers to sleep. Well, unless you're white and rich and love to ski, like then you're probably like aware. But
yes, but sorry, back to your funding thing. I did see there was like a few countries that only had like one representative. I think like Angola was one of them. Yeah. Only one guy.
Yeah.
like
I mean,
so I guess you're right. Yeah.
No, like it's not even like I'm exaggerating to make a point here, but like what are we gonna do? We come from the tropics. Okay, like we're not gonna. The first time I saw snow was when I like went to the UK. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna come across snow. There's parts of Nigeria where it snows, but like that's like like what's going on. The elevation is really high here, and so like it's just like winter sports, Winter Olympics. Like it's not something like you get to practice. It's not part of the way of life here. Like think about like just here at culture. Least. Yeah, it's culture. Yeah, like I know I didn't do any of that, but like since being friends with you guys, like it's very, very immersive. Like there's very much a cultural movement around it, like just going around on a day-to-day in winter. Like I was dropping my girlfriend at the airport the other day, and it's like I saw so many people with the ski bags. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like traveling. I was like, well, yep, I guess this is what most people traveling in the winter are trying to do. Right. They're coming from or going to some sort of I don't know, ski resort or some kind of winter sporting activity. But yeah, like Nigeria apparently had one person, and me and Arya looked and to see who this guy was, and we couldn't even tell if he was black or not. He looked so light skinned, and like I appreciate you wanting to fuck with Nigeria, my guy whose name I don't remember, but like it's just I wasn't anything too crazy, but
Cross country skiing. Well,
yeah, cross country skiing. Yeah, that's very true. Cross country, which you think about it, that would be like, do you have to be fast, or is it like how far you
oh
go?
yeah, it's a really tough sport.
Like
Honestly.
like it's a race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
you're trying to be the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like it's kind of an endurance race. Like I think the event
Yeah.
starts at 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like you're going.
Yeah, no, like that's very interesting. But hey, like I don't know if it's like people are always fighting for equal rights and equality. I don't know if this is something that like we necessarily need equal rights. Like the whites can have this,
Yeah.
like they can.
I kind of had something funny to say. Which
Go
is
for it.
a little bit inappropriate. It was
Nah,
like
it doesn't matter. That's
it
what
was
this
like
is for.
I think Stavros, like Halkias, had this like joke where he was when he
Wait, who?
he's this Greek comedian, but when
Okay.
he came to Canada, he had this joke where he was kind of like talking about how hockey sucks and like everyone's doing, and then he was like, "What are you talking about, bro? Like the Florida Panthers are like the NHL champions." And like we don't care about hockey so much that like we haven't even gotten black people involved.
So yeah,
And
there we
it's
go.
like one of those things where like you do kind of think about like if a LeBron or a who's like a modern day like NFL guy that everyone like calls a freak of nature, like a Christian McCaffrey. Or,
Yeah, well, that's a white man, but
I
no,
guess
Christian McCaffrey is a
Yeah.
freak of nature. Derrick Henry, I don't
Derrick
know.
Henry. Like if one of those guys grew up skating and got onto the ice, like I can't imagine they do poorly. You know what I mean? Like there's just like what are the odds like with their hand-eye coordination and everything, like they do poorly, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of think about like hockey is like maybe like that's the borderline because I think there are some like African American athletes there now, but it's like you kind of think about skiing and snowboarding, and I think one of the reasons is like there's actually no money in the sport. The money is like doing the sport,
Yeah.
which is why
It's the ultimate flex.
right, because it's like that's kind of really fucked up way why you want like really like physically like talented people to play basketball and football because they can generate tons of revenue
Money,
for the
yeah.
league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas there actually isn't that much revenue in skiing and snowboarding.
No,
In
there
fact,
isn't.
the competition is almost just to appease like the community.
Yeah.
Right, like so the expensive part of skiing and snowboarding is actually just doing the sport.
Yeah.
It's not actually like
That's
like,
actually a great way to think
you know
about
what
it. I
mean?
never
So
thought
it's
about
kind
it.
of like
It's not like a lucrative sport. No one's paying to watch you ski or snowboard. Like
because they want to do it themselves.
Yeah, like no one's doing any of that. Like you're just doing it because like I have like a very shitty snowboard setup and I spent like $1,000 on it.
exactly.
Like and mine's shitty. Like I don't even want to know how much you've spent like
Dude,
in the
or,
past
like-
like 5 years.
Like fucking like what's it called? Like when I went to buy like the board with Will, he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get like the most expensive stuff," and I was like, "It's gonna be pretty expensive, man." Like it's like I get it. Like Will's my Mr. Moneybags, you know.
No, a lot of Mr. Moneybags.
But I was like, yeah, it's and apparently skiing is 2 times as expensive. I just found this out. recently.
Really?
I found out like recently that like with snowboarding you can generally get a really good setup for like about $2,000, and it's like for skiing you probably have to double that, which I was shocked by. I did not know this.
Hey man, shout out to the people, the skiers and the snowboarders. Love and respect you, and yeah,
Best of luck to Nigeria.
yeah. Keep it with the whites. Wait, actually, last question before we talk about some other flexes. What country is like known for like just taking all the medals in the Winter Olympics?
It's actually usually Canada or the US.
Okay, so it's still all right. Same. Well, Canada is usually
Russia-
not in the Summer
Russia
Olympics
as well, but was Russia invited to this?
I don't think they've allowed Russia to participate in a lot of stuff in a while.
Yeah, so I don't like Russia usually does well too.
China? No China. No China. Oh,
Not really.
Yeah, 'cause
Japan
China-
does pretty well, actually.
Okay.
Apparently, Japan does pretty well. Korea apparently does pretty well. the Finnish and like Nordic, like Switzerland in some events as
I'm
well.
thinking, yeah, you're mentioning all the countries in the world now. I'm thinking, I'm joking.
All the countries that are invited.
Yeah, that's
to the
actually,
World Cup, yeah.
I'm thinking like top three, because like, in the Summer Olympics, it's usually the US and China. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
Russia
Yeah,
is
yeah.
usually maybe like a top five when they're allowed,
Yeah.
right? And so I guess what you're saying now is like
Canada,
in the
US by
winter,
far.
it's like Canada, US.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, shout out to all the white people flexing. We love it. I don't know, like I do it sometimes, and we'll see if Luke and Ari can continue to convince me to invest in snowboarding and
I've been
skiing.
getting you out like once a season, which I think is the important part.
Yeah,
As long as it continues, yeah, you'll be good.
We'll be good. We'll be good. Yeah. Other thing that's a flex, and I might be willing to invest in. Have you heard of those like 12-minute like flights to like the
Space.
Yeah, like it's space, but like me and Arya had like a whole argument about
Oh
like
yes, like the
orbital versus
yeah.
suborbital. Like this is technically this is fucking Arya. Like I love you, buddy. This is like a Arya point to stand on.
Like technically, it's not space kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's because it's suborbital, but like you get to experience weightlessness, and like you get to see like I think the curvature of the Earth, something like that. But like, have you heard about those flights before?
I've heard about them like way back. Like I think like and I mean way back like with like Virgin Galactic. Like this would have been like 4 probably years ago. And like I think the price point at that point was like more than $1 million. Even go like suborbital. I don't even know if at that point you get weightlessness, but I think you can.
No, you do. Yeah, with suborbital.
No, but I mean like that. Then I don't know if it was suborbital or if it was just like a certain like
altitude,
and then like I think you could see like the curvature of the Earth. Honestly, back then, like I never really understood it. Like I was like,
what do you mean? It's fine.
I guess like yeah, no, definitely. I was just kind of like, what would be the like I don't know, like I guess like the appeal of it, but then like I guess like feeling weightlessness would be cool.
No, I mean it's a once in a lifetime experience. How many people can say like they've gone suborbital before and and experience that? It's like why would you go snowboarding or skiing?
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I'm not even trying to justify it.
Is it kind of like what Katy Perry did last year?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I think that's probably like the most famous flight.
Okay.
Till date, like the Katy, like the all women's.
Oh, so that was just like one of a part of several. Like,
yeah, there's been many.
Flights.
Yeah, that one was just like a publicity stunt to like let people know like like this is like regular, like people can do this now, like
why did I think that was like a space mission or something?
A space mission?
No, I honestly like I knew like they kind of didn't like do anything up there, but like
I thought they were there for 12 minutes, man.
It was like branded as kind of like here this is this big thing and like
the only thing that made it a big
PR
thing. Yeah, it was PR to promote women in space.
Okay,
Luke.
I mean,
like,
all right.
There has never been an all-woman crewed flight before. Space was exclusively a man.
Well, how would it be all-women crewed if they're effectively just like passengers on a plane?
Yeah, but like that's a great question. No, there was like legit female astronauts on there. I think so at least one.
Both the commercial enjoyment of that flight and like the people who actually operated it. Like,
yeah. Do you know what? That's actually a great question because in my head, I think these rockets are like basically like automated for the most part.
You would think, like, because it's like like honestly, like now that I'm more of an adult, it's like if that makes total sense because it's like what spur of the moment adjustments could you make on that spaceship to make the flight more optimal? That wouldn't have been like previously already like all the scenarios should have been calculated, like all of like the trajectories based on like your thrust and everything. Like there has to be like 100% set.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would you be actually
doing? Like weightlessness, like stuff, or someone puke. Like I imagine there's like little things you can do, like check like the pressure, like inside pressure versus outside pressure, like the air. I'm talking out of my ass right now. I don't know.
Ooh,
But I'm pretty sure there's like little adjustments. But I just brought that up because when you said, "Oh, all the women operating the flights, all the people operating the flights were women," I was like, "Huh." I don't know. There was an astronaut there on the mission
no,
for
I know
sure.
there were like two very
Yeah,
legitimate
like
scientists. As a
yeah,
part of
at
that
least
crew.
one, for sure, possibly two. But like I was just thinking, I don't think like there was like much. I feel like for the most part,
They were
these
just there.
flights are like automated. Like like all these like test flights where like start like I think for the most part like you can fire a rocket from Earth without anybody being in there and bring it right back to Earth without anybody being in there. And when people are there, you can fly it out and bring it there. But I think I brought this up to say like like space used to be like the ultimate flex for countries. Like
For humanity, basically.
yeah, and I remember getting into it with you guys very recently, and I will, reserve my comments, but I was just talking about, oh, does Canada really have a space program?
That was not that recent, but
Dude, where's your memory, man? Like that was like
the
less than
Canadian
6 months. That was like, that was like less than 6 months
I
ago.
mean, I don't consider 6 months like that recent.
Okay, in the context of our relationship.
Okay, fair enough.
Like,
fair enough. Like
okay.
Canadian Army. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I was talking about I was just talking about the Canadian space program, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like, it's basically just like a surrogate space program. It's really the U.S. space program, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like let Canada like send an astronaut like once every year, like something like that.
Yeah, I still stand by. I think Canada's contribution to like the space like initiative globally is like top 10.
No, I totally agree. I mean, when there's only fucking 10 countries that can make it to space, of course it's top 10.
But like,
and the
you know
fact
what
that
I
you can
mean,
make
right?
it to,
Like,
by the way,
yeah.
this is not to shit on Canada, but the fact that you can make it, the fact that you can make it to space already,
Yeah.
like fucking Nigeria ain't got shit. Like, I don't know who
Like,
am I to talk.
I think that's all I'm saying. I just think like the gaps between space programs are immense. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's kind of like almost like the equivalent of like if you were like no, that's a bad comparison.
No.
But like I was gonna say like US, Russia, China, way just like here. You know what I mean? And then everyone else is like probably like here.
Yeah.
So like I guess that's where I'm coming from. Like I get it. If you look at like total output in terms of the net contributions to space, Canada has like a small percentage of it, but it's like if you were to kind of rank it's not that bad. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about it more like this, where the difference between $0 to $1 billion is $1 billion.
Yeah.
But the difference between a billionaire and Elon Musk is like 100 billionaires.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense? Like the gap between a billionaire and Elon Musk is like
is exponentially more.
Yeah,
than
600x larger than the gap between
us
like
and,
a billionaire and like me. And that's why I was thinking about the space programs. But again, that's just me being a hater talking
very
shit.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, but I bring this up to say like, yeah, as a country, and that's why you guys were shitting on me, and like you're still ferociously defending Canada right now. It's a flex when you have like a space program.
Elbows up.
Elbows. Fucking.
Elbows up.
I need the fucking what's it called? I need affordability to be down. I need to be able to afford a house before like I start like like I raised the pom poms for no one except Nigeria. Okay, and like until I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass a little bit. I'll let it go. But I was gonna say, it's still like an incredible achievement, an incredible feat to have a space program. The U.S. who pioneered it, like back in the day, apparently about 4% of GDP was like put towards like the Apollo program.
That's insane.
Like for context, I think AI right now is 2%. AI spend is like 2% of GDP.
Like, apparently, if that collapses, it's over for the world.
You know what I mean? Like 4% of GDP in the 1960s went towards that. That's about 280 to $300 billion in today.
And you wonder about like just
sorry, it wasn't. I take that back. It wasn't the GDP. It was the federal budget. So that was wrong. It was 4% of the federal budget. 4% of the federal budget. So.
But I think more importantly, you wonder about the knowledge and IQ allocation.
Okay.
It would have been, I think, much more than just the spend. You know what I mean? Like I feel like during the Cold War, when all this was happening, like to me, like the most brilliant scientists and physicists and engineers, like in the U.S., were basically all focused on this one thing.
That's very true.
Today, that's pretty splintered, right? Like obviously AI is a big one to point to, but like people are thinking about AI to do 100 different things, and they're kind of splintered into that sense. There's still defense. There's still all these other things,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it is pretty crazy that, like, you're right. We just basically had one of the most powerful nations with some of the smartest people in the world, just like purely focused on this one thing.
On space, dude. And like, I guess for scientific research, but I think it was kind of like just to like shit on Russia a little bit. But
It was absolutely like,
yeah.
there are whole shows based on what would have happened if Russia went to space first.
I mean, Russia went to space first, actually.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they sent the dog.
Gagarin.
Didn't they? Oh, was
yeah,
I wrong about that?
I think they did send a dog, and I think they also had the first human as well.
Sorry, we were the first to get on the moon.
On the moon,
yes.
Yeah, we were the first to get on the moon because we had to one up them. But I think just to go into some numbers here about, like, obviously we know what the Apollo program was, and there was so much mystique about it, like, oh, the moon landing was fake and all of that, and it's like between then and now, there's been so much progress. It's kind of insane, and I feel like we talk about it super casually, but it's not even fathomable a little bit, and like kind of just wanting to ground it a little bit. So, like going over some numbers, like it cost about $20,000 per kilogram to transport. Like it costs about $20,000 to transport 1 kilogram into suborbit, right? Like this is the low Earth orbit. This is what we're saying doesn't count as space, right?
So no, like lack of gravity yet.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, weightlessness. You experience weightlessness.
No weightlessness.
Yeah, but 54,000 per kilogram to go into actual space. $54,000 for
Today?
one. No, this was in the 1960s. Like for 1 kilogram. Like
that's insane.
Yeah, a human being is what average human being, like 60 to 80 kilograms. Yeah.
But also like the weight of the spaceship.
The spaceship. You know what? This is insane. Like, and that's where we're talking 4% of the entire budget. Right now, with the SpaceX Falcon 9, we're at $2,500 to $3,000 per kilogram.
$2,500?
$2,500.
That is absolutely astounding.
$2,500. This is almost like a 10x decrease. Almost 10x.
That is pretty mind blowing, actually. Yeah, and when was
the Falcon 9?
Yeah,
Falcon 9 has been doing this.
It's like a little older. Right?
Yeah, the Falcon 9 is old. Like, there's a couple of Falcons. There was Falcon 7, 8. There's a Raptors. But like, I think the Falcons have been doing this since like the 2010s, like 2015-ish. Like,
when was the Apollo mission?
1960s.
Okay, so like you're about like a 50-year innovation curve.
A 50-year curve. And in between that there was a decent amount of like progress that stopped too. Like I don't know, like the US stopped even making rocket ships. We're using Russian rocket ships for the Soyuz. Like reading Chris Hadfield's, they had to all use the
cosmonauts.
They all went with cosmonauts. They all used the Soyuz capsule. But yeah, just saying so 2,500. And now Elon, this is all projected, and we all know how Elon is with his numbers. Okay, let's
we're gonna reduce by another factor of 10?
Yeah. So no, not less than $1,000 per kilogram. So not quite by a factor. A factor of 10 would be
factor of 2.
Yeah, just less than $1,000 per kilogram with Starship. But the big thing about Starship is it's gonna be able to take significantly more load. Do you know what I mean? So
it's more efficient, but it also has a larger capacity.
Yeah, larger capacity. Yeah. So I think he was comparing it to a Boeing 747 versus the initial planes that people used to fly. It's like the moment you bring an
Boeing, international plane.
Yeah, it's it becomes accessible to the masses. So just saying it's been a 90 to 95% reduction in the cost to launch a rocket into space. Do you know what I mean? Over the last 60 years. And I don't know how fathomable that is or how crazy it is for people to conceptualize that. But that's why I kind of started talking about the 12-minute space flights. For anyone that has $1 million to blow, which is not a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay. You can literally just go to space just to experience that. Now, Yeah, Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin. The New Glenn Blue Origin ones are the super popular ones. I think those are the ones like I know of pretty well. Yeah, 300K to 500K.
That
And
is much lower than 4% of the government budget.
I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of insane.
That's like not like obscene.
No,
And it's kind of
not
fucked.
obscene. Like people pay less than that for their private jets, and they pay more than that for like flying on private jets like for the whole year.
It also sounds like you can do it with like you can actually go to the International Space Station for like 55 million to 70 million.
Yeah, you can. So like this is the thing, right? So like a big nuance is back in the 1960s, like going to space was a national priority.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
We're talking about the Canadian space program. We're talking about the U.S., the cosmonauts, the Russian.
These are like public sector initiatives, basically. Yeah.
Department of Defense, not even regular public sector.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like the toppest secret, highest level of security clearance. You got now like Katy Perry, like or Michael Strahan, like these football players and singers can just just go there. What kind of security clearance do they have? Probably higher than I do, but you can do that. And the big thing is it's now commercial. It's no longer like governments, right? It's like private companies can now do this, right? Like it's like I'm trying to think of something that was like like only the government could do, or not even impossible, something only the government could do. And then the government is like, well, I live in Nigeria where there's state-owned oil companies and stuff like that. It's like, oh, like like breaking down a state-owned oil company and saying, oh yeah, private people like kind of come in and just kind of do your own thing, right? And that has obviously, when competition comes in, prices go down, and that's been the kind of thing. And so like it's been so incredible what commercial the commercialization of space. And then something that's pretty cool that I don't know that a lot of people know about, and maybe they do and I'm just an idiot, is the International Space Station. I don't know how much people are aware of that, but it's kind of like a floating how would we
floating like structure?
Yeah, like a floating structure that when we send rocket ships out, like they dock on
attach,
it. Yeah, they go in there. People live in that structure for a bit. They do experiments and then they come back home. That's another government initiative by like 5 or 6 countries. It wasn't developed by one country, but like each country has their own little like
section.
Section. And they can rent it out and stuff like that. And it's mainly, well, it's getting decommissioned.
Yep, in like the next 20 years or so?
I think like 5 to 10, like 2029 or 2030, something like that. And no one cares. No one's worried about it because the same thing that happened where, it was only an Apollo space program. There's commercial space stations. Like, well, there's one for now, but...
Oh, there's like one orbiting right now?
Not orbiting right now.
Or like being constructed.
Yeah, being constructed, like... So they're constructing on the International Space Station. The people that are, so it's called Axiom Space, AXIOM.
Well,
they're constructing their own space station on the international, like how I describe it. They're at the International Space Station putting together a bunch of parts to create their own space station, so that when the International Space Station is done, like they're gonna be there. And from what I understand, the Department of Defense and NASA is gonna be renting space from a private company now, as opposed to people renting space from the government. And so it's like there's gonna be like a full on. I know people are talking space economy.
Insane.
Yeah, like I remember
you saw this like link I just like clicked here for the Axiom Space private mission, and it's literally called newspaceeconomy.ca.
Oh, really? New Space Economy. Dude, like you should go to the Axiom websites. I watched an interview with the CEO, like a super smart like guy. I don't even remember his name. He had a long name, but shout out to him.
World's first commercial space station is literally the meta text.
Dude, it is incredible, man. Like the work that they're doing, and they have spacesuits designed by Prada. I remember I was telling you guys, these are the guys that had Prada design the spacesuit. Like Arya says to say it is a replica because he doesn't know if people will actually use this in space. I'd like to think they would, like, if not, like, why are you doing this? But it is a great marketing stunt if they don't.
Well, it sounds like they're already doing private space missions, right? So
yeah, they are.
It definitely doesn't sound like it's not feasible.
No, yeah, it's very feasible. It's like if you're a country and you wanted to, so like countries like Nigeria, countries like Egypt, countries like Turkey,
They could rent
like
like
yeah, like
time and
they do that with SpaceX. They're doing that with Axiom right now, where they're like, hey, we want to like
that is
take some
incredible. Yeah.
satellites out to space. We want to get this experiment out on the ISS, instead of like creating right now for a country to get people on stuff out to space. You don't have to create this huge national space program and like invest. Like you still need like an office for space,
Yep.
but now you just need to like have money and like outsource it to like Axiom or Falcon X, which is like kind of insane. And I remember like I think the reason why we started talking about this is because of like space data centers, which is again like another Elon. Like, all right, buddy. Like like if anyone's
Listen,
gonna do
man.
it, it's gonna be you. But like, all right, like there's a lot of stuff you said you were gonna do and you still haven't done.
There's
So
no doubt that like the type of character, like you know how there's those archetypes.
Yeah.
Like there's like Elon is a visionary.
okay,
Like that's what Elon is. Like
Yeah.
that's what he's great at.
Yeah.
But actually, honestly, crazy. I really didn't know these numbers. I didn't like think about the commercial space station, but that makes perfect sense. Quick joke. I just
Go.
wanted to look into this. You know that the capsule that exploded, like the
the
submarine?
Boeing one? Oh
The-
no, the submarine. Yeah.
Apparently, to do that, it costed $250,000 as well.
Really?
So could you imagine, now that just makes that whole situation look even more ridiculous. Like, why would you want to spend $250,000 to go to like and see like the Titanic when you could like basically see space? I guess like that's for someone to debate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
But,
it's
yeah.
very debatable. I will say, like, I've always like I love space. I won't say I'm a space skeptic. I love space and like, space is great, but I've always thought like, hey, like space is beautiful, but like 70% of the earth is water. And I don't know how much of that has been explored and utilized in a sustainable and efficient manner, of course.
Yeah,
To
I
the
get you.
extent like and like yeah, we can go to space and that's fair because like we want to be a spacefaring species, which is OP as opposed to a like what the fuck, like yeah, of course you should
A
conquer.
deep ocean.
Yeah, it's like
faring species.
yeah, it's like conquer land. Yeah, you should conquer the water too, right? But like all of this to say, like I've always been. I remember
Space is it's cool.
it's cooler.
Generally speaking.
I think the deep blue is like super cool. I remember I was sending you guys that Project Natick, Project Natick. I don't know, Nautilus. I think is the inspiration for data centers in the
Yes,
underwater data centers. Like
that
like
can generate their own power, cool the systems like really efficiently.
yep.
Um,
Which is
Yeah.
the same, like, and Microsoft is the one that's doing that, and I would imagine like if it was going to scale, we would hear more about it, but we're not, and we're hearing about space again. It's kind of only Elon talking about space data centers right now, and who knows how like like
Elon has the
yeah, who knows how
Yeah.
that's gonna scale, but I think yeah, like just aside the space data center topic, I just wanted to be like, oh, this might be a good opportunity to talk about like what is actually going on in space and like
Yeah.
what else is like there's a commercial space station coming along and there's gonna be a lot of shit going on there, like a lot of countries being able to like work with instead of like a
basically
government
like there's no political.
exactly
like-
element to it.
Yes, it's purely just like
Pay for play.
do you want to pay? Yeah, do you want to pay this much to do X Y Z?
Yeah.
That's it. I do kind of want to almost like end off with thinking about because when you were saying that you're like that is a very interesting thought where it's like yeah it once took like a government and a group of people to like even make things like this feasible
Yeah.
and it's like I think that applies to a lot of different things right like but like I don't think like we would necessarily think about them because we like for example GPS is probably one of those things
Yeah.
or like data centers like cloud storage right like there's probably a time where like the government was the only like groups that could like basically digitize data.
Yeah, it was if I remember correctly, data centers, the first few data centers, the reason why Virginia and
West Virginia,
PJM,
like-
huh?
oh
Yeah,
so,
West Virginia, like the PJM, which is where like most of the data centers are. The reason for that is because all the initial data centers are for the Pentagon and the U.S. like Department of Defense.
Yep,
And so
that
like
makes sense.
they needed their data centers close to like where they operated. And it was like, okay, when other people started building data centers, they're like, oh, Like we're just gonna go to where people have already done the work.
Yeah, so we don't need like what is the point of like doing this
starting from scratch
when other people are just gonna do this and we can just pay to store our information in
Do you
there?
get what I mean? Or we can like make use of all the like architecture, all the energy that they've like pushed towards there to get those data centers. And so yeah, no, you are right. Where a lot of these like ultra modern, super innovative technology,
Like we have cloud storage on our phones.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, you would literally need a nation once upon a time to do stuff like that. And like I like GPS, I think was something else that came out like during World War I and World War II.
Yeah,
where,
GPS was
like radar and sonar technology, where like now that is like very standardized. I don't know if phones
internet
and cameras would be one of those things.
I don't know,
but like
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would think that like that type of thing originally, actually, I don't know. Like, I don't know if the first camera was invented for like government purposes. You know what I mean? But that is a really interesting thought. Like, I kind of wonder, do you think that's still the case?
I think
like,
so.
Do you think like there's still like insane government? Like, what could be the equivalent of the rocket now? You know what I mean? It's like, what is the government, like, what could the government be cooking up now that like is still ahead of the commercial curve? I guess we just won't know.
I like to talk in movies. I talk in movies. Have you seen Pacific Rim?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, that.
Like the robots or the breach, like the.
Okay, well, not the breach. Like, come on. Like, how is the government going to be working on the breach?
I don't know, like going to another dimension.
No,
like
they're working on the robots that John Boyega and like Idris Elba were like operating.
What is the purpose of like that though?
What do you mean? It's for war, like the army. Like if I'm correct, what's the name of this Palmer Luckey company? Anduril?
I actually haven't really heard much about that. No.
Anduril? You don't know Anduril? Okay, well, yeah, Anduril is like the defense manufacturer of the future. Like it's like remote soldiers. That's what essentially what I'm talking about. Where like imagine you playing a video game and like
the humanoid robots are kind of like still going to be way more advanced when it.
Yeah. So yeah, you know what? You actually what the army is working on that's probably going to get to us is like those humanoid robots. Like the most advanced version of the humanoid. I think, right? This is me just talking into the future.
I don't see anything beyond drones.
Really? Like what?
Because like
a drone versus a humanoid robot?
Yeah, because the humanoid robot's gonna cost like $500,000 to produce, and then a drone costs $300, and you put a plastic explosive on it, and you send like 30 of them, and it's still cheaper than the robot.
You think?
It is. It's like that's why they're like tanks are obsolete now, because it's like you build like a $3 million war machine, put 4 people in there, and then you go out into the field and a drone, like literally a drone that would have been used for like farming to like spread fertilizer that was repurposed for war will just crash into it, explode, and that tank is done.
But like I'm thinking like Iron Man. Like Iron Man didn't fucking crumble to some
Iron Man
drones.
didn't think about the deadliness of like 100 drones fly. Bro, like think about
there were a bunch of drones like Avengers. By the way, I'm gonna go watch Avengers Doomsday when it comes out. But like
I'll come see that with you.
Yeah, but like that's actually a good question. Like drones versus a humanoid robot.
Like the only countermeasure to drones right now is EMPs. But the thing that goes against that is fiber optic drones that basically like they're connected to a wire. Like literally, like this sounds crazy, but they're connected to a wire that's like literally like kilometers long. So they basically set them up in very strategic spots, and then they go to the destination, and like an EMP can't even disrupt those, right? So if they're able to innovate on that, where it's like now like through some means like an EMP can't like take it out, like then it's like fuck, like what do you do against that, right? But I don't know, like all this to say, if there is something more dangerous than drones, it's probably really scary because we can't even probably imagine it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll come back. I'm gonna go do some more searching on this humanoid robot versus a fighter humanoid robot versus like a drone.
I'd be interested because you know what? I could see like things like theoretically like it could have very complex like cameras,
in Pacific Rim there was, and I haven't watched the movie in a minute, But like, I'm pretty sure like they were attacked by drones and they didn't.
In Pacific Rim, they were fighting giant monsters, which like makes sense. Like if you to put a giant robot against it.
Yeah.
But like, how do you defeat like? I think the reality of like warfare is like it's not these like big, sexy, like cinematic fights. Like it's actually just like it's all about like outmaneuvering.
Yeah,
and
no,
being
absolutely,
sneaky and like all that shit, right?
absolutely.
But, yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll leave you on there. You tell us what you think or who you think would win.
Next episode, Dolapo is gonna come up with this thesis on how like humanoid robots will defeat a drone.
Definitely, even if it's not true, I'm gonna pull it out of my ass and come up with a thesis.
And I will explain how ice like luging and all that shit started.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what that word is, but sure.
Well, you know, it's just more so like the skeleton and stuff. Like, how did that start, right?
Yeah, no.
So we'll figure
totally
that out
agree.
as well.
But yeah, no, it's been fun. Yeah.
Are you gonna close it off too, Mr. Intro?
I did not know that was my responsibility, but now that I do, I will. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you know, you learned a new thing about space today, or you know, you were happy that a Black person was talking about the Winter Olympics. Either way, one love.
One love, and we'll see you in space.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we want to do. All right, bye guys.